Opportunity to present opposing views.
In a sea of calamity, your voice of reason. Russ Clark on 560 AM KBLU.
Monday morning, 7:06 live and local with Russ Clark, AM 560 KBLU. Phone number 344-5258, 344-K-Blue, and is with me.
Hey, buddy.
Did you have your cigarette?
I had my cigar.
Yeah, oh, no, you didn't.
Those are cigars.
You went outside and had a cigar?
That's a mini cigar, yes.
I used to smoke a cigar occasionally. I haven't had one in years, but I used to occasionally smoke a cigar. I like them.
Well,
I do. But
as long as you don't breathe that nasty smoke in.
No, it's bad for him. Actually, I have a real guest. You know, Russ Jones is out of town. I think he's in San Diego. Russ Jones is normally here, Representative Russ Jones here on Monday. But today I have a pilot.
Well,
Mitch, good morning. How are you? You got to get close to that microphone, buddy.
Good morning.
Just like in the cockpit, buddy. You got to get close to it. It's directional now, right in front of you.
Okay.
It's directional. Got it?
Yep. How do you hear me now?
I hear you.
Is this thing on?
I hear you fine. Tower hears you. Everybody hear you. But I haven't been flying in a while, Mitch.
Well, I told you the other day when we met up, we should have talked in the air in my airplane and flew around.
I know. We need to. I need to. I went flying for the first time with Russell Jones the other day in his 182. It was wonderful. I mean, I just loved getting back up in the air. Haven't been up. I sold my 172 XP, gosh, Andy.
2 years?
More than 2 years ago. And I have not flown an airplane since.
He's got one in his garage.
I haven't. I do. Yeah. We need to put it together.
I told you, anytime you want to get up off your lazy
it doesn't have an engine. It doesn't have anything. It needs a lot of finishing. I started in a project.
What kind of airplane is it?
A Zenith Zodiac.
Okay.
Two-seater, tail dragger even. It's designed with a speed wing and a tail dragger, so it wouldn't really qualify for the light sport because I think it's a little too fast for the light sport. Mm-hmm. But it's wings are done, tail's done, fuselage is done. It's probably 70% done with about 80% to go.
Yeah. the real work comes in now. You got avionics in it yet?
No. No, this is all sheet metal is all it is. It's all the sheet metal. Yeah. It's no expensive parts yet. It's all the sheet metal. Actually, it's worth scrap right now. If you were, nobody else would want it, but it's...
Well, it'd be something nice to stick on a pole.
It's mine. I'm not going to do that. I mean, it'll fly. It will. We just need to put a lot of money in it.
Well, right? Did you hear what he just said?
We just need to put a lot of money. Yeah, well, that's what we need to do. We need to put a lot of money in it. That's all it takes.
When it's done, though, it'll be his airplane.
Oh, yeah, of course. No, it's his airplane at all times.
Yeah, and then, but I need to find a place to park it and all that. In fact, that's why you want to come in and talk today. You want to talk about a place to park it.
That's one of the issues.
Park my airplane. Mm-hmm. Park. I was reading something in AOPA. I still get AOPA, Aircraft Association, pilots, and all that kind of stuff, and I still read as if I were a pilot. I still look at the issues as if I were a pilot. I still dream.
You're still a pilot.
I still dream.
You still hold a license.
I still do hold a license. I guess that's a lifetime thing.
So you're a pilot.
I'm not current. I need to get up and get current. I don't know, Andy, if I'd trust myself right now to land. Well, I guess that's what they have flight instructors for. I don't know how those guys do it. They get somebody like me that hasn't been up for a while and say, okay, Russ, land it. Show me you know how to land it.
They cringe. Their hands are just so close to the controls.
I'll have to talk to Ed Whitehead because he does that. He's an instructor.
Right.
Ed Whitehead's an instructor. The reason you want to come in, and something I've known for a long time, is controversy and problems over at the airport. Now, most of our citizens don't know a lot about the airport, but we hear about it. We know it's a joint use airport that we count on the
It's actually two airports inside of one fence.
Probably.
Because the Marine Corps Air Station is on the east side.
Right.
And then you have the rest of the airport, the general aviation side of the airport, and the...
which includes FedEx and Customs and other things all
There's
along.
a lot of people working over there.
Right. And of course, United Airlines, all those guys, all on the other side. Everything else is on one side. Military on one, we're on the other. It's rare, though, in the country. There's not many of these.
No.
I think there's only a couple, isn't there?
Only a few.
Only a few.
That are shared use airports.
And ours has worked out pretty well. We're pretty happy with it. But since I've been here, and since I've been a pilot, there's always been a grumbling of general aviation, not thinking that the airport's taking good care of them. And it started back with David Gaines. Remember Gaines? That's
I've heard the
when
name before. Yeah.
That's when I first got involved in it, and I went over and talked to them and said, "Look, how come you guys don't like general aviation?" Because they don't like general aviation.
Well, it's not profitable, and if you're running the airport like a business,
maybe
the
not.
GA is not.
Maybe not.
Turning in, you're not getting millions of dollars in profit.
But here's something that the citizens, I guess, if whether you fly or you don't fly, and something you need to understand, it is a county airport, although county supervisors are no longer on the board. It used to be the county supervisors were on the board. But I got the impression they don't want anything to do with it. And I don't know why that is, other than there's a lot of controversy because there's millions of dollars that go through this place. A lot of federal money goes into this place. A lot of tax dollars goes into this place.
And
a lot of community money.
If you accept that money, if an airport like Yuma Airport accepts that federal
Right.
money, they are bound. They have
To fulfill
compliance issues. They
Yes,
must
they must comply
keep
to
it
certain
a public
certain things.
airport and treat everybody without any unjust discrimination.
Well, before I tell you about the current controversy, the one that always intrigued me was the hangars. We wanted hangars, and the airport would never build us hangars, wouldn't do the hangar bit, wouldn't do it. And finally, through a lot of the airport general pilots, the general aviation.
It's always a fight.
It was a fight.
It's always a fight to get
just to get the
anything
airports
good.
built. And I remember going to meetings. In fact, Vic Smith was a chairman at the time. There would be 30 or 40 of us pilots show up to complain about lack of activity, lack of working with the board, lack of working with general aviation. And they finally agreed to work on building hangars, which they immediately filled. I mean, the hangars are full immediately with airplanes, immediately. But as soon as they finally built them, the general aviation, all the group of general aviation pilots called the hangars immediately the Miracle Hangars. In fact, they would call the tower, say, "I'm parking over at the Miracle Hangars." Everyone knows what the Miracle Hangars are. The board, I guess, not the board or maybe the staff at the airport, so offended by the name Miracle Hangars, they renamed them the Hero Hangars. I guess they deemed themselves heroes. And then they bought all these signs to put up. So all the signs say Hero Hangars. Now, I do know the pilots still say Miracle Hangars, and they still get directed to the Miracle Hangars.
Well, and ATC will correct you and say the Hero Hangars.
Oh, they will correct you.
They will. They'll say clear to taxi Hero Hangars.
Okay.
They're trying to
Why are they
force
trying to
everybody
change?
to use the terminology they want.
I just think that's unnecessary. You know what?
But you're touching on one of the big issues at the airport.
Is they ignored the general aviation. They don't like us.
And all kinds of other people, too. Because they run the airport. It's a public
With
airport.
an iron fist.
But it is ran like it is their personal property. It's their house.
Here is
It's the people's property.
It is. It is. It's paid for by tax dollars.
You bet.
And it's run by a board, which I have many friends on that board.
An
I do.
unelected board.
It is unelected. I have many friends on that board, but I question, what the heck are they not paying attention? We've got an issue right now that's going on. When I flew my airplane, I had a couple guys working on him, and one of them was Gil Garza. And he worked out of a trunk of his car, and they harassed him all the time because he carried his tool with him. He would drive on to the airport.
Well, there was no maintenance before Gil Garza opened up Garza Aviation. There was practically
Well, it
no
used to be
maintenance on the airport.
Ernie. But,
Years ago, yeah, that's before my time.
Ernie Munoz.
yeah, Ernie Munoz. He worked on my plane too. I loved Ernie.
Yeah. Good.
He put an engine in my airplane, and I questioned him. I checked him, and let me tell you, he knew what he was doing. Ernie really did know what he was doing. But then it was Gil, and Gil did annuals on my airplane, did all that. And they harassed him all the time about coming on the airport to work on the planes. Well, that's where the planes are kept. Yeah, I can't drive it to his garage.
And they used that to great effect.
Oh, my.
The fact that it's
They-
the only airport in Yuma of its size and so forth.
Well, and I don't...
You
Exactly.
have to do business with them.
Right. Well, I ended up taking it over to Somerton. If I needed something done, I'd fly it to Somerton just for the hassle factor.
And I flew mine all the way out to Welton, out in the desert there.
To have- and had
A
Gil
little
come out
dirt
there.
strip out there. Yeah.
Well, the airport is working to up its image and trying to offer more full service. And, they brought Millionaire in. Millionaire is an FBO that sells fuel and gives pilot lounges and stuff like that. And I think they do a nice job. I assume they do a nice job. And it's a beautiful facility that the airport built with federal money. They built with federal money. This
And Millionaire
facility.
chipped in a portion.
Millionaire did have to pay some of their waste time. Well, and they did not have a maintenance deal, so they made a deal with Gil Garza. This guy's working out of his truck, carries his tools around. They said, look, have a permanent fixed base operation here, and we'll cut you a deal on the building. And the deal is relatively inexpensive to, like, free to start off with, and relatively inexpensive. And the deal was they had to have maintenance because we've got airplanes. We need maintenance.
And you have the airlines coming in
Sure.
here, and they have an issue. And
So it was good and beneficial to all. But they shut him down when he said he wanted to sell fuel. He can't compete with Millionaire for some
well,
reason.
they never let him get off the ground. Joe Gomez and Gil Garza wanted to sell fuel last year, and I have the letter here.
And they wouldn't let
Craig
him.
Williams, where he basically told him, we will crush you.
Right.
Millionaire will crush you.